So this is Esther plans a banquet. So on the third day of the fast, so remember Esther had asked all of the Jews to fast and pray for 3 days, no food, no water. This is on the third day. Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the king's palace opposite his throne room. So remember, she wasn't allowed to go unless she was invited. And Mordecai had said to her, you know, don't you think that you'll be exempt from the edict that was written about cancelling you out, basically, cancelling the Jews out. So she was like, right, I'll go, but she'd asked for fasting and prayer. So she goes, she gets brave and courageous, and away she goes. And the king was sitting on the royal throne facing the main entrance of the palace. And when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, she found favour in his sight. And the king extended to her the golden sceptre which was in his hand. So Esther approached, touched the top of the sceptre, and then the king said to her, what's troubling you, Queen Esther? What is your request? I'll give it to you, even up to half the kingdom, whatever you want. And Esther said, if it pleases the king, may the king and Haman come this day to the banquet that I've prepared for him. So she's going to set the scene. She's not going to go in and blabber it all out. She's very smart, and there's certain ways to do things, and Esther knows this. Particular ways, and sometimes God calls us to do certain things in certain ways, particular ways. We can't just go fighting these enemies face to face. We have to go in the way that God instructs us, and this is what Esther's doing. And then the king said, oh, bring Haman quickly so that we may do as Esther says. So he tells the enemy, come quick, come on. So the king and Haman came to the banquet which Esther had prepared. And as they drank their wine at the banquet, the king said to Esther, well, what is it that you want? And what's your petition? I'll grant it to you. What's your request? Even up to half the kingdom. He's willing to give her anything. And this is like God. Sometimes whenever we follow his ways, and he's asked us to do it in a particular way, you go through the refining fire and you come out the other end, and he's like, right, okay, I'm going to do this for you because you've humbled yourself. You've come forward, you've touched the hem of my garment or the top of my sceptre, and you've come in the right way, and you've fasted and prayed. I'm going to grant you what you've asked for.